Pluto is an archetype that represents control, power, and transformation. Those are three huge things.
Pluto's really cold, really, really, really cold, colder than you could possibly imagine cold.
And there really is no controlling those plutonic experiences. That's the rub, right? They're about control, but you can't control them. The 5 questions I want to share with you a little bit later are ones that you can ask yourselves when you're to the point of overwhelm. I learned them from Ezra Baida. He's an author and a teacher at the Zen Center in San Diego. You can use these questions when you're feeling like things are particularly intense, or when you feel ungrounded or helpless, or when you're feeling like you're at this point of thin ice and you know that it's cracking and you're afraid that you're going to fall in and you need a hand up. Now, Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius, and Pluto moving into a new sign is a very significant marker of change in the human world. So Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008, and it's there for about 15 years. It's moving in and out in 2023 and finally out in 2024. And it will stay in Aquarius until the year 2043. These periods are times of big moves, big reversals, doorways into new realities. It's just like having a baby though, it's like, it's not easy. This labor period is dangerous. It's challenging. It's uncomfortable. And something new is going to come out of it. And when you have that new thing, that's even strange and uncomfortable, and you have to get used to that. And how do we do that? It's going to be a conscious effort. And that's the essence of plutonic experiences. They're really custom made to disintegrate and degrade things in order for us to let go of something or another that we're supposed to let go of. And sometimes it's really harsh. Whenever that happens and we're particularly distressed, there's a conceptual part of our brain that just turns off, and it's called cognitive shock. And that makes it really hard to think clearly because this is just too much. So the older part of our brain takes over when our cognitive shock comes in. Attacking, arguing, going numb, checking out. Those are some things that can happen during these plutonic distressing experiences. Before you even ask yourself question 1, I want you to take several deep breaths. There's a breathing technique, it's called 4x4. 4 seconds of each of these things. So there's 4 things for 4 seconds. First, you're going to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Then you're going to hold it in your body, hold the breath for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 4 seconds through your mouth, and then don't do anything for 4 seconds. Man, even doing it just once feels so good. I would like you to do that 4 times if you can, before you even start asking yourselves the question, because that alone will put you closer into contact with your cognitive mind. The first question you ask yourself is, what is going on right now? This one has to do with being honest, and you have to disassociate or disconnect your emotional response with the objective situation, the facts. Feelings are not facts. Baida has a really good example for this, so you know what I'm talking about. When we experience the panic of losing our job or seeing our investments disappear overnight, it's easy to get caught up in your fears and lose all sense of perspective. But what's happening in the present moment? Seeing our believed thoughts, often based in negative imaging about the future, allows us to come back to reality of what is happening right now. We need to see it clearly by asking ourselves what's going on right now, objectively, not how am I feeling about what's going on right now. Question number 2, can I see this as my path? This question opens up a space to help us see our distress as an opportunity to grow or to awaken further, because oftentimes these plutonic situations are exactly the things we need, even though they are hard. They're exactly the things we need to become more free. Here's what Baida says about this question. It is fundamental that we learn when difficult situations and feelings arise, they're not obstacles to be avoided. Instead, these very difficulties are, in fact, the path itself. There are opportunity to awaken into a more authentic way of living. That's easier said than done, isn't it? When we're in the middle of something awful, just going all zen and say, this is a part of my awakening. Yeah, that's hard. Why? Why is that hard? Because we want problem-free lives. I want a problem-free life. I want to be safe and comfortable. We seek shelter. We push away the reality of the situation to protect ourselves. But in fact, this thing has come and it's come to you for a purpose. At some point, there's no other logical path but to stop resisting facing difficult experiences that you are going to inevitably have or have had in your life, because the alternative is to stay stuck in this very slow sinking sand. And the further you sink into it, the harder it is to be released from it. Can I see this as my path? Question number 3, what is my most believed thought? This is the question that's tempting to skip over, because if we take our opinions as truth, what is my most believed thought? That can be influenced by the moment, whatever moment you're in, how you're feeling physically, if you slept last night, what you ate for dinner, or if you didn't eat dinner.
I was a bitch tonight, but now that I had the snack, I'm like, it wasn't really that serious. You didn't have to get that mad.
We're living a very subjective experience in our human bodies, and that can isolate us on a surface level because we can't see the vast truth that's beyond our own little backyard of our body, of our own brain, and that leads to a lot of unconscious behaviors dictating our lives. Here's an example that Baida gives. Deeply believed thoughts about our insecurity may not be evident on the surface in any given situation. Truthfully, we're often unaware of their presence. These deeply believed yet well-hidden thoughts of insecurity act like a radar, and we often seek out experiences that confirm our beliefs are true. That's confirmation bias. That's a tendency for people to favor information that confirms or strengthens the belief or value that they already have. And it's difficult to get dislodged because if you keep affirming that confirmation bias, it becomes true. And when that radar's constantly going, and maybe we're living in the past, we're not living in the present moment. Another big one is, I'm not worthy, or I'm not smart enough, or, those are not things that are on the surface. Like, you're not going to go around saying I'm not smart enough. But it's a deep-seated belief that might be ingrained and really ancient, chipping away at that deep believed thought to say, is it true? Am I really not smart enough? That's what I'm talking about here. And that's a pattern that if you can track it and shine a light on it, that it becomes a whole heck of a lot less powerful in your life, and it actually becomes predictable. Like, oh, there's that guy again. There's that unworthy thought again. When we ask ourselves this question and analyze what is my deepest believed thought, it's hard to get to it. But once you can get to it, start seeing the actual reality of it, not just related to your emotional thoughts or your confirmation bias. And then that predictable pattern starts to become, oh, no big deal. Oh, there that is again. Oh, hey, what's up? There you are. And that investment in the deep-seated belief starts to have diminishing returns. And it starts to be, oh, okay, let's move on from that. Question number 4, what is this? This is the one that if you don't follow any of these other questions, for me, this one is the most powerful, because asking yourself the truth, what is this? This is a question that requires you to turn off the thinking mind and go straight into the physical experience of the moment. What sensations are you feeling in your body? Where is the tension? Is it in your face, in your shoulders, in your stomach? Like, this is when you're distressed. What is this thing that's happening to my body? What's your environment like around you? Start thinking about what's the temperature? What sounds do you hear? What do you see? This is a practice of focusing on the whatness rather than the whyness of what you're feeling. Baida says, admittedly, it's difficult to maintain awareness in the present moment when distress is present, because truly experiencing the present as it is means we have to refrain from our habitual defenses, such as justification, trying to be in control, going numb, seeking diversions, and so on. And until we can refrain from these defenses and feel the physical experience and stay with it, we will stay stuck in the storyline of me and remain unaware of what life is in this actual moment. We busy ourselves, we distract ourselves with things, we try to analyze our way out of it. But when we have this question of what is this, we can really be in the moment, and it's not asking what the anxiety or the distress is about. It's asking, what is this? It doesn't mean that we like to experience it or we even accept it. It's just, what is it? Naming it. It means we're willing to pay attention to it and explore it with curiosity of what in the heck this thing even is. What is this feeling? So is it hard? Yes, but both roads are hard. The one of pushing away the feelings or trying to drown them in other things, it's going to be hard. Feeling the feelings is hard. Both of them are hard, but only one of them leads to a potential relief. When you have a heart that is focused on the road toward awakening, toward a more evolved state of being, a heart for peace, a heart for love, one that's not controlled by fear of the future or controlled by pain of your past. And we're going to be facing a lot more difficult moments where it's going to be hard to come back into a heart-centered experience. That's going to be challenging because everything might feel dark or hard, and taking a moment aside to breathe deeply into the center of your chest, breathing in, breathing out, focusing on compassion and warmth when you're doing your 4x4 breathing. It takes a lot of courage to do that. It takes a lot of strength. And that's what we need to lean into. That's what we need to cultivate. This is where the truth lies. That's who we are, is something beyond the separation. Question number 5. Can I let this experience just be? This might be the hardest question to grapple with, and that's why it's last. It's human nature to want to fix or remove the experience that's troubling us. What can we do instead? After all that, trying to fix things or whatever, we come to this experience where we need to try something else, and that's something that's a little bit dramatic. And this could be the point where allowing the experience to just be whatever it is or whatever it was, you'll find out that pushing the pain away is more painful in the long run than actually feeling the pain. Baida says, the final question, can I let this experience just be, allows the quality of mercy and loving kindness to come forth because we're no longer judging ourselves or our experiences as defective. We're finally willing to experience our life within the spaciousness of the heart, rather than through the self-limiting judgments of the mind. The 5 questions are, what's going on right now? Can I welcome this as my path? What's my most believed thought? What is this? And can I let this experience just be? Working your way through these 5 questions when you're in a distressful situation, emotional distress or experience, can help open up a new door to reality for you. And you can be in a more objective, observational, rational state, feeling your body, feeling your emotions, and seeing a glimmer of truth behind it all, the meaning of it, behind the self-imposed walls of anger and prison of fear and confusion that keep us from authentically communicating, authentically connecting with each other, with others, and even with ourselves. And these challenges are markers. They're points where you either take on that end-level boss or you keep playing the same level forever. You can't keep playing the same level forever. It's so boring after a while. It's just no point. It's pointless. I hope this was helpful for you, and I'll talk to you next time.